It now being February 11th, 2026, 5:30 PM, meeting room 4. We're going to open up the North Carver Water District meeting, posted in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20B. It's now being recorded by Area 58. I'll open up the floor to public comment if anybody wants it. Going once, going twice, so no, all right. The first one we're going to discuss is the application for water hookup at 107 North Main Street. I did forward you over the information that the applicant sent over, and you have it in the application. He did submit a check here for it also, for our fee. Where's my other paper here?
What's even just a letter from Kevin?
From us,
Yep.
saying it's okay, yep, we approved it here. Trying to find my paper that I got for you.
And Joe will send that over to Middleborough.
And we'll send it over to Middleborough.
What is that one for? Oh, is that for the,
Water hookup
Yeah.
for 107 North Main Street.
It's the car wash, right? It's the-
No, not the car wash. This is Roby's property. Yeah,
wait, which one is?
this is the Roby's property.
This one?
Yes, the one we have today is for the Roby's property. Okay, so this is Tremont Enterprises Corp. They're actually, it's the owners of Roby's property. The property is up for sale now. As you see, there's big signs up on their main property and then on High Street. They have some other property there. I guess there's 4 lots for that, just to let you guys know. The applicant did send an email.
Do you have the plot plan, that lot?
You know, it's not the plot plan, it's kind of like that, but my computer didn't print out everything the way it was supposed to. So the email that he had sent us, that I submitted to you guys, said that he's looking at 30,000 gallons of water. Oh, here it is, right here in front of my face. Hello, Bob, on behalf of Tremont Enterprise Corp., please review and
What are they
vote.
putting there that they want 30,000 gallons of water?
It's up to 30,000. I'll go a little further with that, okay? Vote on the water service application submitted on or around January 14th. This is our estimation that future improvements to the site will require a minimum of 30,000 gallons of water per day. Therefore, 30,000 gallons per day is our request. We would welcome hearing from you after the vote to establish the next step in the process. Sincerely, Greg Donahue. He's a local realtor advisor, and his phone number is on there. So, that was his email. He then went ahead and called me today about 3:30, again telling me that they were looking for 30,000 gallons. He sent me a copy of the map, but the way when I went to print it out, it just didn't print out well.
So he owns these 2 lots as well?
Yeah, he owns the Roby's property itself.
Yeah, which is right,
Yeah, he owns this property here behind the other ones, and these 2. So there's two on High Street, that there's real estate signs on there. There's one that's landlocked between his other property, his main property, and behind the other houses there. He owns that one.
so this might be a concern about getting water, because that's not technically North Main Street, and I don't think the High Street has.
No, High Street does not have water.
And I don't know if he's combining, is he trying to get this as one lot, or they're separate lots?
He has no plans at all for the property. It's a purchase and sale agreement for it pending water.
Okay.
So that's why we're kind of having this meeting here, along with the finance discussion, is to either move forward with his application, and the process would go, we would go ahead and vote on it, yes or no. If it's a yes, then we submit a letter to Middleborough saying, hey, we've approved this for him to get water. Then it would be up to him to go to Middleborough and talk to the Middleborough Select Board to gain approval from them to get water. That's the same process that 11 Green Street followed
Yep.
to get it.
But, so we're just gonna follow a process that we were complaining about at our last meeting? That's basically what we're doing here.
Well, we're following the process of what we have to do anyways. I mean, we'd have to follow this process anyways.
Okay.
Because we have no control
So
over.
again, where is this process? So as I stated in our last meeting, we don't have a contract with Middleborough. And the
Correct.
only thing that I can find, I can find a memorandum of understanding with them, and it clearly states in there that any water provided here is for emergency use only. The people who are on it are on, it's emergency use because we can't provide them with water.
Correct.
So,
We're kind of like an at-will user right now.
and on top of that, and I am just going with, because again, I'm falling back on what our rules and regulations say. And I'm reading it today, and I wish I had brought them with me, because I did highlight a few things. When submitting an application for water, there's certain things that are listed in our rules and regulations that need to be provided with it. And we don't have that. And that is not really like a site plan that you'd give to a planning board, but what you plan on, where you're going to bring the water to, the buildings, and the water lines that will be going in there, and things like that. And we don't have that either. So that's kind of where I'm really hung up on all of this.
Okay, so he did say to me today that after we do this, he will then work on an engineering plan for it.
But I don't, then why
So-
wouldn't he? My problem is, we're putting the cart before the horse. I can't approve something where they'll be like, oh, just trust me, bro, I'll get you the information later. I can't do it. It's not even following our own bylaws. And then we're putting Middleborough in, between a rock and a hard place, saying, hey, you gotta give these guys water. Because we say so, because we need it for them. And the only thing that we have with them, again, is an MOU that says, we're providing water to North Carver on an emergency use authorization
And
here.
that was only for a short period of time.
And their town voted on that. So I'm having a real problem with this right now.
Okay,
Not that I don't want to see something happen, I just want the process.
And Middleborough might want more clarification because where these are separate lots, I understand the one that's landlocked, which they can probably tie in with that, but these that are on High Street, we don't have a water service that runs down High Street, so I don't know if they'll accept that as part of the whole entire property. Because it's not like one property, it's actually 4,
correct.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And 2 of them are on High Street, the other 2 I would say, because
Right.
the landlocked is North Main.
Yeah.
And they'll probably want to get some type of assumption.
Can I see that? I don't,
Yeah.
I'll just look at it.
I'm sorry, like I said, the way it printed
Yeah,
out.
I know,
it
it's not
wasn't-
your fault, yeah.
Wasn't the best for it. So, totally understand your position on this, okay? And the issue we have with Middleborough in a contract, we've tried. We tried to get a contract.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's the town administrator and the board of selectmen upstairs that are stymieing us from getting that because Middleborough doesn't want to deal with us, they want to deal with them. And whatever they got behind the
Well,
scenes that they're doing.
I don't
understand
care
that.
what they want. We're here, right, that the state has this board, put this board in place.
Yeah,
So I'm following what the act says, the legislation says about this commission. Whether I sit on it or not, I would expect anybody sitting on this board to do exactly that. And then, it's shameful that our select board doesn't recognize that this commission actually exists. And, until that day comes where if they decide that they're going to dissolve this commission, I don't really think they have a say in it. And I'm not gonna sit here and just be like, sure,
sorry, this
do
is bothering
what you
me.
want because the select board does what they want. I don't roll that way.
Okay. And I totally understand. All right, do you want to say something first? Go ahead.
Well, no, I think it might help the customer as well if they had clarification on what they're gonna put in there, but if there's any water on High Street now, because I think the corner customers were tied in because they abutted North Main, but he's looking at a plan and he's gonna go to Middleborough and they might look at it and say, they're not part of the project that are on North Main. And they're not gonna just
I
give
know,
out
but
the 30,000.
I think it'd be irresponsible of us to vote on this without even following the information that's required under our rules and regulations. first and foremost, and then just saying, yeah, Middleborough, go ahead, take a look at this.
Yeah, actually, because we don't even know what they're gonna need.
And I'm very leery right now about approving new hookups for businesses or projects that don't even exist. That there's no buildings, there's nothing there. Because A, we still haven't met the DEP requirements. We can't provide water, so I don't know what I'm approving here. And going forward, St. Marie says, yeah, sure, no problem, we're good neighbors. Once we get this plant back up and running, we're under the assumption that there's gonna be no changes to the permit, but we don't know that either. So there's a lot of just too many unknowns to, I think, jump the gun and start approving new hookups for things that don't even exist yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference, like, okay, so the car wash, I don't remember their new name now, but they just wanted backup in case they had a problem. It's an existing business, it's been there forever. That's just where I'm at right now. We can put it to vote, I can't support it because I just find it
Okay.
Good point.
short-sighted.
So I'm looking at this that how they're gonna, if they're looking to sell the property, and in order to sell the property, they need some guarantee of water. And it kind of goes back to the same as the urban renewal plan. He's looking for a guarantee of water, and we can't really give him a guarantee of water. It wasn't until the car wash came up where the town administrator told him to go to Middleborough and ask them for it first, and then he came to us for it. And he did that process, and we told him that's not the right process to do. I told him that, this is what you do, you follow this process here, and we worked through it. And same with 11 Green Street. They're going through that permitting process, not permitting process, the plans of where the water line is gonna go.
On an
All right?
existing structure.
Right. So on this project here, where he's looking for no more than 30,000, okay?
Per day, that's a lot of water.
It is a lot of water. I have to also say that the property on, behind Noria Gas, who went to the planning board already, where they have a conceptual plan, all right? He was saying they were gonna be looking at 30,000 gallons too. All right, so if you look at, we have 100,000 gallons that we're allowed to do, and we're using, what was it, like 40-something thousand
46,000.
a day. So if both of those projects get hooked up for water, we've now surpassed our permitting for that area.
Our
And-
defunct permit,
Yep.
we don't have a permit at
In
this
the
point.
past, I think it only put out around 85%.
So we now, and we do need to expand the amount of water there, which means we'll have to drill some more wells, upgrade the plant, and that's not even including the other property. So in my opinion, it's first come, first serve, all right, with these that come up. And it all bears upon Middleborough. So Middleborough basically controls our commercial development in the North Carver area.
Well, no, only if we sit here and just start, sure, yep, and first come, first serve, fine, but provide the information that's required. Go read what the rules and regulations says, they're
Right.
posted on the website, provide it to us. I mean, I understand that they need water to sell the property, but that's a them problem.
Right.
Honestly, and I don't know, there's other options. You can put in a well.
They all have wells.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so those properties do all have wells,
So-
but they've also paid the betterment, the full betterment fee, for that.
So are they-
For that Roby's property.
because they can't have both. So if they hook up to Carver water, they can't have the wells.
Correct.
But if they have the wells, then I don't think that we need to provide them water so they can sell the property. That makes no sense to me. It's circular logic.
And it's really dependent
And
on.
if they have the betterment already, that's some guarantee that at some point, yeah, you can hook up to water. But
Right.
we have to clean house first. We have to clean up the mess that we made.
And we're,
Well, not what we made, what
Well,
the
well,
prior administration and what we're trying to do.
We took responsibility for it,
Right.
so,
and we're at the will of Middleborough as well, because they're helping Bridgewater right now.
I know.
And they're limited on their wells, so they may say, we ain't got 30,000.
I know, but I just don't feel that we should be putting them on the spot, because technically, we don't have any water to provide any of these people.
Yeah, it's like a blank application. We don't know the meter size.
You know, it's, in
So
All the details.
what we can do is, we can turn around and ask him that, can you get us a plan of where the water line's gonna be, all right, what size it's gonna be, and have him come to us and do some type of an engineering study for it or whatnot of, I mean, because they're not developing this project. They want to sell the property. Totally understand. It's going to help them along the way is that, how much are you going to need? So I totally understand. I think that,
But are they basing that 30,000 gallons off of all 4 lots? Because that could be an issue too, if the 2 real lots that are at
well, I'm
High
sure.
Street residents.
Well, and just to let you know also.
and that's outside of the district.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we can't.
Unless they go to planning board and turn around and have it all included as one.
Then they'll have to
And then they'll have to, for it. But one of the other caveats to this is, unfortunately, this map isn't the best here, but this little property here,
Yeah,
this one little here,
Yeah.
is owned by the town of Carver.
Yeah, okay.
are they gonna have the frontage required for this too? But I see, I don't even know, because we have frontage requirements for hookups.
Right. So they have plenty of frontage.
We
That lot
have,
does.
Yeah,
The front lot.
The front lot has plenty of frontage for it. And like I said, they go back and they go to planning board and said, hey, we want to change the lot lines on this to make one lot line, one big lot there for development on it. Like I said, and then they have the whole idea, they have to go to planning board.
Right.
So what do we have them do? We have them say, okay, come back with a plan of what size water line you're gonna put in there, all
Yeah, probably
right, some type of a design for it. Not to say that we want an engineering design for the whole property of what you're gonna do, but at least coming from our main line into the property,
And what are you?
And
planning
what
on-
size?
Yeah, what are you planning to feed?
all right?
Right.
But see, we're not gonna get that information because we don't know what they're gonna put there.
and
I mean-
therein, again, lies the problem, because
It's
it's
open-ended.
literally a requirement in our rules and regulations. It literally, so if they have a betterment, right,
Mm-hmm.
that guarantees that they can hook up, because they paid a betterment.
When
So,
it's available.
If
When it's
Middleborough
available.
lot- if
well,
Middleborough
well, no,
allows.
so I'm going off of the premise that the North Carver Water District is gonna get up and running again, whether it's under a water commission or the board of selectmen. That's neither here nor there.
They haven't said anything of what they wanna do.
So, my point is, I feel like we're almost being kind of pushed to vote on this when the realtors say there's a betterment, yeah, at some point you can hook up. And at that point, when it's sold and there's an actual plan, conceptual or whatever, that comes in front of us, we're gonna have an idea of what they're building there and how much water they're gonna need.
Right.
But just throwing a number out there and, maybe they have, if they can come up with, I need 30,000 gallons of water per day, they have an idea of what they're putting on that property. And I don't think it's a heavy lift for them to provide that information to us, especially if they've already brought it to the planning board.
Well, they haven't.
Oh, they haven't.
They have not brought, because
Because they're selling it.
they're selling it.
I'm thinking of the
All
other
right.
property.
And are they selling it as, they're gonna make that one large property? That's a planning board decision.
But, right.
So they might not need 30,000 if they're like, well, we
Well,
only have
that's,
this to work with.
like I said, they said up to 30,000, okay? Could be 20,000, it could be less than that. Who knows? All right? But it all depends, we don't know who this prospective buyer is. I don't know who it is, haven't told me. I don't know what they intend. I think it's commercial.
Yeah.
All right, I think
Sure
it's
it is.
just
It's commercial
commercial.
property.
So, I mean, who knows? But it could be that this buyer turns around, buys it and says, you know what? I think I want to put houses in there instead.
And that,
And that's, like I said,
and
we
that
don't
could
know.
happen. And
Yeah.
we don't know, so why would we vote on something that we don't know what's going to be there? But I mean,
Yeah,
it's in our rules and regulations that we have to have this information.
okay.
We have that responsibility, and, you know, I understand their frustration that they need a guarantee of water to sell the property. Well, they have the guarantee because they paid the betterments from the line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So they could ask for 30,000 gallons, maybe we won't have 30,000 gallons to give them.
right, and they should probably talk to planning board if they have any idea of what they want to do. To
Correct.
get guidance on if they'd be able to combine those as one lot, or if,
I'm not saying reject this.
Right.
I'm saying, you know what?
We can table
Let's
it.
take this, get some more information,
Yeah.
and we're gonna put it aside while we sort out everything else that's going on.
Right.
Before we start making decisions on things that we don't, I don't think we can make the decision on.
okay.
That's
So-
where I'm at. You-
When I
you
go,
disagree.
so when I go back to him, I just want you guys to turn around and give me the information to give him. We need some type of plan for some type of water line and the size of it,
correct.
of what you're gonna need, all right?
Bob, I'll send you, what I'll do is I'll email you what I highlighted in the bylaws. I
Okay,
didn't, I
yeah.
left it at work by
Okay.
accident. And that way, because it's clear what the
Right.
commission looks for when they're approving applications. And, you know, the applicants can look there as well, but I'll send you what I read and,
They have an idea, of if they're asking for up to 30,000 gallons, they have an idea of what they want to
Correct.
do. And that might be a discussion they have with planning board first, because if they say no on, then that might change, and they come back with something small and say, this is our plan. And then, all right,
and there's nothing stopping us from saying, okay, we have this information, it looks good. Going forward, when we actually have our plant up and running, we could support this. In the interim, since we're okay thinking forward ahead for ourselves, if you want to go to Middleborough and ask them, hey, can we do this now? And then it'll be taken over later, then Middleborough can make that decision. But we need to make a decision based on whether or not it's something that we can support. And right now, we don't even have a plant that's operating. So that's just, yeah.
So when I send him a message when I leave this meeting now, need plans for the water line to come in the size and to follow the rules that we have in place, all right, for a new hookup, that Kim will forward me,
Yes.
what she determined, okay? And I do want to say that this is an alternate, we're doing it in an alternate way than what we usually do, all right? And the problem is that if we had our plant running, and we would have that ability that, okay, it's boom, we do this, this, and this. But the problem is we don't have a water plant, we don't have control over the water that's coming in, and that's an issue.
and
So,
in his best interest to even have a conversation with planning on his, because
so
it might not be an option for them where they say, those are existing lots, you can't.
this will put my real estate knowledge into play, is that I'm a real estate agent, I'm looking to sell the property, okay? I have a non-disclosure agreement with my prospective people that want to buy the property. He has information that he can't divulge, okay, about what their intent with that property is, okay? So he's not gonna divulge it, okay? So no matter what, he's in a position of saying, okay, the current owner, Tremont Enterprises, they're coming forward to do this here, so they can go ahead and go to Middleborough and ask them for the water for it, so they can sell their property. Then the next company that's coming in, they're gonna be stuck with whatever we've agreed upon here
Right.
of
Well,
what they
that's the
can
other-
and can't get. All right, so they may be stymied if they want more, all right, of what they can and can't get. So I think the big one is what size the water line they're gonna do. Is it gonna be a 2, a 4, 6, an 8
30,000
inch?
gallons is more than 2 inch water.
Well, I know that, I know, but it's just the fact that, I mean, we have on our thing, is a service size, 1.5 and 2. We don't even have the other sizes on there
I think
for it.
this is this a residential form though? I thought we
That's
had
all.
residential and commercial.
That's the
One.
only one that we had available right now. So, that being said, here, what's the board want to do?
Continue it? Just have it continue?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should
Okay.
continue and give them an opportunity, but, you know, at the end of the day,
Continue
I
to,
understand the problem that the Realtor is trying to solve,
yeah. Okay,
but expecting us to not follow our own requirements is not acceptable to me.
yeah.
And because it's a self-created problem, it's not our problem. And because, again, they can say, there's a betterment on that property, you'll be able to hook up at some point, you sell it, you're gonna develop it, you go to planning board, you come to us. If we're still on Middleborough water, then get the blessing from Middleborough, all of that.
Right,
But yeah,
okay.
I think I said what I needed
All
to
right,
say.
so,
How about I make a motion to table this application until we get further information?
I'll second that.
all right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion, I totally understand. I agree that we need to follow the process. I do also feel that the process that we have is based on us running the water system and having water available for them. But we don't have a plant running, we don't have water availability, and we're at the
So
will.
we shouldn't be voting on water, providing
We're at the
water.
will of Middleborough for our commercial development, which I hate that understanding, and it's pretty sad that we're in this position now.
Agreed.
So, all in favor to table?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Unanimous for that?
Thank you for coming down here.
Yeah. All right, that one's done. Okay, so our next order of business here is finance discussion, emails from finance director. All right, let me slide my finance stuff up here. So we have a problem with how much money we're coming in, how much money is going out. The select board only authorized on the $650,000.
Thank you.
And we have certain bills that have to be paid no matter what. We gotta pay for fuel over here. We have to pay for fuel. We have to pay for electric. We have to pay for our insurance. We have to pay for our operator, that's DEP required. We have to pay for the engineers to comply, get us into compliance with DEP, which is getting better there. The issue we have is when we were stymied at $650,000 than what we really needed by the select board, we had a choice. We had a choice to pay for the engineering company and pay for our distribution operator, or we don't. And I want to make it perfectly clear for everyone that the $200,000 that we are spending for those two entities is a lot less than if we didn't comply with DEP, which is $100 per day violation. There's 15 violations that we need to comply with. So at a minimum, that's $1,500 a day, 365 days a year. If we didn't do it, we'd be paying over $500,000 in fines to DEP. And we still wouldn't have an engineer, and we still wouldn't have an operator. So us asking for the money to do this through the Board of Selectmen, and they are not giving it to us, we could have turned around and said, we're not gonna hire them, we're gonna get their fines, and that money is gonna come out of the taxpayers' dollars. We're saving the taxpayers' money by following DEP's orders. The Board of Selectmen and the town administrator make it perfectly clear, it's your fault. You put us in this position that we don't have the funds to pay all our bills that are needed. We're not even asking to fix our lights. We can't even do new meters here that we should be doing. Those things that we should be doing, we can't, because we don't have the funds. We're doing necessities here. We can't do engineering to find out what needs to be done at the plant to get it up and running again. All right? We're just trying to hold ourselves above water and complying with DEP. But you guys don't care. It's all about control. Control, control. And we'll talk about control a little bit further in this meeting. But right now, we're dealing with our finances. Now, I said to the finance director that we're gonna need somewhere in between $300,000 and $350,000 for the rest of the fiscal year. All right? I still feel we're gonna probably need that amount of money. We may not, but that's just my estimation, looking at the numbers. I want to also make it clear that I did talk to our lawyer, all right? And I did have communication with him. And just to let you guys know, he agrees with us that we asked for the money, we didn't get it. So we can go to the select board and ask for the money, or we can turn around and ask for a special town meeting to be held so we can be authorized the money. So a special town meeting would cost the town even more money to run that. And I don't think we really want to do that. So, that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Karen Praval, our finance director, who has been very good in helping us along with our finances here with the town. And that's part of our agreement with the town, is that the finance department assists us in these issues that we have. And she did hand out a handout here for it. So, Karen.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting
Thank
me
you.
to your meeting. I enjoy working with everyone on the committee. As I go through the budgets with all the departments, usually halfway through the year, I explain what we've expensed, and then I look at what I'm expecting, through the rest of the fiscal year. If I see anything where I feel like there may be a shortfall, information is provided to the select board and to the finance committee to let them know that there could be a possible shortfall. So what I've presented, I met with Eric earlier in the week, and we were going through your budget. I will send a copy. This is just from our financial system, but I kind of just put a summary if you want to see each line item. He wanted to see a breakdown of other professional services. There's different things that are charged to that account, so what I provided on this sheet that I passed out is a summary detail of professional services in terms of what has been paid each month. So the first, you have all your vendors, and then you have July through February of what was expensed to date. So you have a budget of $650,000. The total amount that you've spent year to date is $532,815.73. Just remember, the top portion of this spreadsheet only represents the other professional services. So within your budget, for electrical, you've spent $31,000 so far out of a $42,000 budget. I have a breakdown I can provide to you, but I thought for this meeting, I would just state that from the budget that was appropriated, the $650, $532 has been spent. We have a balance of $117,184. As I was looking at prior year expenses and looking at all of the monthly expenses that come in, I had a projection of what I'm anticipating, as you mentioned, Bob, that is the mere minimum. So we're looking at Millborough Water Services. We just received an invoice today. It's around $14,000. It covers services from July through December. We haven't paid that bill yet, so I have it in here for $28,465, which is a bill that will be coming up, and I'm anticipating, and I just did an estimate between January and June of the same amount. That's why you're seeing $28,465.70, and these are upcoming expenses. The next one, and as if you're looking at the top ledger, and if you have any questions, you'll see Town of Middleborough, you see services, and there's like an asterisk, and it has the $14,233, which is a bill we'll be paying in February once it's approved by your committee, and then most likely we'll have another one in June. The second set of bills are the bills for the water. So we just received an invoice, and that water bill is from October through December. And so it was for $46,742. So I estimated that we would need to be paying 2 more quarters. So we'll be paying, March and then through June. So I had anticipated the same amount for those quarters, just as an estimate. It could be more, it could be less. I try to kind of look at what we're paid over, sometimes the usage is different during certain times of the year. So I'm gonna have, these are just projections, they could change. As we pay the invoices each month, I'll be presenting a copy of this budget every month. So you can see what you spent what we have left. Sometimes at the end of the fiscal year, we'll do transfers. That usually happens in May, as we kind of get closer to the end of the fiscal year. So just moving down where I have projected bills, I had bills for Mr. Mullins, Susan Hannon, so Tata and Howard, which is an engineering company. To date, we've paid them $47,687 based off of what we've spent to date, and I know that a lot of the work that they did was between December and February, but I have an estimate of around $16,000 over the next 4 months.
Just 1 second, yeah.
Yes.
So I just want to let you guys know, I did forward you guys these invoices,
Yes.
all right? And we just got a new one from Tata and Howard for our next meeting that we'll discuss, and that one's going to be for $4,859.04. And the agreement that we had with them is they will bill us once they complete certain areas of the contract. So it kind of stretches out. So technically, we don't have an end date for them to finish everything. We want it done within a year, that's our goal, but if it goes a little longer, it goes a little longer. So it's an open-ended one, I just want to make sure people are clear, so.
We want to double check that in the contract there's no term dates, because if in the contract there's a term date, you need to do an amendment to the contract.
And I think they gave us an estimate, rough estimate.
Right, they gave it, right. So, but just want to make sure everyone knows that everyone got the information that
Yes.
I got, you guys got.
And depending on, like you were saying, if they do more work in May than they have in the past, then you're going to see a higher bill. So I will update these projections as the bills come in, and we have actuals listed. And then I already mentioned about the Middleborough Water Services and the water, and we had Norwood Printing, we had some printing. I had an estimate of, excuse me, I went out of line. So the water commission salaries is $600, so we haven't paid that yet, but that'll be coming up. Electrical, anticipating about $22,800 more bills for the rest of the fiscal year, and this strictly was looking at what we paid last year and what we currently are paying every month. I had an estimate of $30,000 for equipment. This could be more. I know that you haven't spent anything in your legal services, that you have a budget of $4,000. I have it in here. Last year around June, there were legal fees around $4,400, so I wanted to make sure that money was accounted for just in case. If you use it, use it. If not, then it will reduce the amount of the shortfall. We had backflooring, had about 200 in there. Telephone, and it's strictly based off of the telephone bills, around $437 a month. So with the upcoming expenses, I have an estimate of $282,281, and it's mainly coming from water, the water services, in the contract that we have with Tata and Howard, which was mandated that we needed to have, your regular monthly bills. With that, in the amount of money that you have left of the 117, I'm anticipating a shortfall of $165,097.09. This could change. It could be more, it could be less, depending on what services are provided. I just wanted to let everyone know that Mass General Law states that I cannot spend more than what's appropriated. So as the bills come in, I can pay the bills. If I get to the point where you're going to have a shortfall, you're running short, and you won't have enough money to pay that next month's bill, then you need to get an additional appropriation. So you'd have to, present this to the select board, let them know that, we have 3 more months of our fiscal year, and we're going to need additional funds to cover X, Y, and Z bill. Either it would go through, it would have to go through town meeting, because we'd have to have a transfer from funds that the town would have, because this enterprise is a subsidy enterprise, and we have money that's covering the expenses. This would be a transfer from probably one of the stabilization funds to fund the shortfall.
When should we, obviously, time's gonna continue to shrink down, and then we'll see, should we be proactive on this? We know right now, your best estimate is around $165,000.
And we still have, we still have some other options. We have transfers at the end of the fiscal year. As you remember, last year, we did a transfer from available funds from the town side to cover, I think it was one of the wells or something that wasn't covered through an ARPA project. So as we get closer to towards the end of the fiscal year, you definitely want to have these conversations. I'm having these conversations. The town administrator is aware that, we may have a shortfall and that we'll be looking for additional funds. It just depends on when the bill comes in. If the service are rendered through June 30th, we'll say we don't have the bill yet. Because a lot of times Middleborough doesn't send us the bill for 3 or 4 months. Then you still have to go to special town meeting to have a transfer done. So at the end of the day, if you need additional funds, you'll need to request that. It would have to go through town meeting as a transfer, as a subsidy. Supplemental for the FY26 budget. The FY27 budget, we're moving forward. Town meeting is April 4th. No, I think it's April 7th. Of the double check, but town meeting is gonna be the first week in
First week in April.
It's the first week in April. And the budget that has been set for North Carver Water District is $650,000. From that, we have a $400,000 subsidy that's going to be provided from the town. It's a transfer that we're going to be using out of our free cash to help subsidize that budget. With the rate increase, anticipating, I used really conservative projections, so we just have to see, how much money we're gonna bring in with a rate increase. That's gonna happen, so we'll probably see more funding and more bill of funds going into FY28. And if we bring in more money in FY27 than what was projected, then that would be set aside as retained earnings, so the state would set aside those funds, and you could use that as a funding source for, to cover future expenses.
All right, so we have really 2 choices right now. We have our first choice is to go to the Board of Selectmen and say, hey, we need more money. There's clearly not gonna be enough to do everything that needs to be done. Like I said, we aren't even talking about doing the water meters.
Right.
And I was kind of hoping you would go into the capital outlay to talk to them and say that that's one of the things that we needed.
Yeah.
All right, because that's, in order for us to really get a handle on how much water is being utilized, those meters have to be accurate. And we can't guarantee all the meters are accurate.
Yeah, I think there's.
So we need to make sure that that gets done for water meters. So I still think that that should be going to capital outlay and asking for money from capital outlay to do the water meters, at least to cover us for a year.
Right.
Of water meters, like I said, for a month. And we need to have a plan with DEP of how we're gonna replace the meters, and I can't get the plan for a month to replace them. I can't even put that through DEP because we have no funds for it. So I can write a plan up that says, hey, we're gonna do 4 a month, all right, and we're gonna take the oldest ones first and go all the way through this, but I don't feel comfortable saying we're gonna do this plan because we have no money to fund it.
Would we be better off, it's around, I want to get the entire meter package at once.
I agree.
We save, it's
Right.
about $65,000.
Right.
And that includes some extra just in case
Right.
on each meter size. Would it be proactive on our part to go forward with the select board? We see a shortfall of $165,000. Plus the 65 that we're gonna need for the meters, that's not even included in
So it's
this.
like 220 something,
Yes,
$250,000.
Yeah.
yeah. So to go forward with them now and ask for those
My
funds?
suggestion is that, we have projected spending, and this is bare minimum with the contracts that we have to pay for in water. My suggestion would be to approach the select board, keep it transparent, and let them know that you're gonna have a shortfall. You're going to require additional funds to cover all the bills based off of projected spending. And with the new contract that was hired, the Tatter Howard engineering firm that was mandated.
I have to say that we have been thoroughly transparent with our funds and what's going on. So they know, they all know, they knew it back at town meeting. all right, that it wasn't enough money to do what we need to do. All right, so, I mean, they have to approve the funds, so we can go to the select board. If you guys want to go that route, no problem.
Yeah.
All right, we can go before the board of selectmen and say we're gonna need at least $250,000 so we can cover our water meters and also our shortcomings that we have here. The other option we can also do, and our attorney said, increase water rates to cover all the shortfalls.
Well, as an enterprise fund, Mass General Law, you either have a surplus enterprise fund where you bring in more money than your total expenses, or you have a subsidy where you're not able to raise the user charges to cover expenses, but all enterprise funds, you should be bringing in the revenue in order to cover your expenses.
Right.
So usually if you have a different general expenses, it's just kind of like if you're in a condo association and you have more capital expenses, your condo fee goes up. It's a similar with the enterprise, so usually you'd want to increase rates to cover the expenses, bring enough revenue to cover the expenses.
So
Well, we haven't even seen the impact yet for our increases.
the 25%.
Yeah,
To
but I
Bob's
mean,
point,
but it's
we
not-
don't even really know if we don't have the proper
Right.
meters in place. We've got to replace the meters, right?
meters. And
Right.
we-
That's
Oh,
part
most
of the
definitely.
consent order with the DEP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
and we don't see we did the increase, but we're not gonna see it till first quarter's over with and bill. I
Yeah.
believe, right? Isn't it Q1?
yeah. So we're gonna have to increase the fees anyways. 25% is just a drop in the bucket, to be totally honest.
Right.
Drop in the bucket for what we have for fees. So we have to post a month in advance. All right, so we have April town meeting coming up. All right, so that means if we're gonna do one in April, because we wanna wait 6 months after the last
What, a
one.
price increase? A rate
For
increase?
for a rate increase.
Well, I wouldn't, the one that we just put in hasn't even come out yet. They haven't even gotten a bill for it.
Right, and the bottom line here is that we don't know what the Board of Selectmen are gonna do.
Right. Well, we can get to the Board of Selectmen before we do a rate increase.
But what I'm saying is, in March, all right, we have to submit a letter a month before
Right.
the rating, we're gonna have a public hearing on it. So here it is February, we're not gonna turn around and get it out this February. So we'll discuss it at our next meeting for a rate increase for it. But that's gonna be another financial issue that we're gonna have to discuss, all right, of another rate increase 6 months after the other one. But to be totally honest, we're gonna have to double the rates of what we have to cover 160-something thousand if the select board don't give it to us.
I think
Because that's the
also-
only other option we have.
You probably also need to put together some type of backup documentation showing consumption. How much water are people consuming? What are the tiers? What are the pipes? What is the price depending on whatever pipe structure they have? And what is that projected amount look like compared to what we're billing and what we're actually getting in? Because we bill, our receivables are higher than what we bring in. So our projected revenue, is higher than what people are paying the same with their taxes. We bill people taxes and sometimes they miss a year when they pay and they pay the next year. I see money coming in 2 or 3 years later than when the bill was actually paid. So that's something you probably want to do is, as you're looking at an increase in rates, you need to look at what is consumption. Is consumption going up? Is it going down? What are the different tiers? How much were we bringing in with consumption at the old rate? How much we anticipating for the new rate? Because then you'll be able to go to the select board and really have a better sense of, okay, as we move forward, we're anticipating bringing in this, but we're going to be short this. That information we're going to need in the fall as I submit this information to the Department of Revenue. Anytime you have a rate increase, they want the backup details showing how did we come up with that number and how do we know what the new projected revenue is based off of old consumption. So that's something to think about. And I think that when you bring it to the select board and to the town manager, we'll be looking at different ways of how to fund this. So it's not just, we just go back, but we'll look at, maybe there's other resources that we could use, but it's something as a collaborative group we'll look at. But just being able to know that this is a money we're looking that we need to have. But I think it gives them an option to look at other sources too.
So the biggest issue that we have is that we have a set rate by Middleborough, 1.5 times their rate. So if you look at that, we would have to match Middleborough's rate of water plus the half of that, so that's the 1.5 or whatever Middleborough's charging, Plus, we have our fees on top of that, all right, because we are an enterprise fund and we're supposed to be running it. So that's why I'm saying is that we're gonna have to double what we have now, all right, just to cover Middleborough's rates for it. And this is a sad state that we're in, but this is what we have. So, whatever you guys wanna do, we'll do. And,
Just make sure as you're signing contracts, that you don't sign contracts that don't have enough money in them. So usually for all of the contracts that go through the town, mass law, I mean, it's a little different because it's a district, I have to approve that we have an appropriation money available.
we're not getting any other contracts, all right? These are the only ones as of right now because this is what we have to do with DEP. The only thing that we're gonna have an ongoing one is the distribution operator. Because once the engineering firm has got us into compliance with DEP, and they're like, good, now the operator can continue on with what has been created, which has been very challenging because we don't have documentation in the town hall for certain things. And the engineering firm has had some issues with that. So,
He's got a lot of the stuff on his end
oh yeah,
completed, so.
oh, most definitely.
Yeah,
He's done an awesome job, so.
and he can continue on to fill that void for DEP requirement.
Correct.
Yeah.
Once we're all in compliance, all it is him keeping track of everything and making sure that we're filing everything on time. He has a calendar of what we need done every year. That was one of the things I discussed with him. All right, we need a set calendar that says this needs to be done here, and that we plan out everything in advance. And that's what he's doing for us. And that's what he will do for us until he leaves. But right now, he's here with us, he's getting things done, and that's a good thing. So, that being said, what is the pleasure of the board to deal with the Board of Selectmen?
We should get on the agenda.
I agree.
I mean, if you have any backup data showing, okay, this is what consumption was last year, this is what it was this year. If you have something monthly, this is what's been billed, this is what we're actually paying with just like a summary, that
So what-
information is helpful.
So some of the issues with that is that if the North Carver Water District was run as a department, which really it should have been run as a department, where the North Carver Water District is in charge of reading the meters, is to have all that information, that we have that information. We don't have that information because it comes from your office, so it's one of those things that if we had more control, it'd be great. But we really don't have control. We'll get the information to it, but we don't have a full-time person that works for us, okay? The only staff member is our distribution operator, all right? And I'll talk to him about getting some of this information if he can go through it for us. But the bottom line here is, as you say, it's 100 and something thousand plus the 65. Bottom line here, that's the minimum that we're gonna need. And I'll let you know is that we just had a fuel delivery, and we'll discuss that afterwards here. But we're gonna have a huge fuel bill too, that's gonna be coming up, so.
Well, whatever I can do within our office to help with the water consumption, and maybe I can put together a report and it can be filled in, I'll definitely work with your commission as we move forward with this, and whatever we can do to help you, assist you, we will.
Yeah, it's really hard to project what the consumption is with the rate increase.
Well, the consumption is the same,
Well, yeah,
the
but-
consumption, but the amount of money that the new billing that we have now,
because the
it's
difference,
gonna go up
yes.
for the billing. So, but if we look at each quarter for the last number of quarters, 2 years, go back 2 years to see what is it. Typically, water is the same. The issue that we have is we get that one bill for $100,000 for water usage, and we don't know why, because now it's down to 40-something again. Granted, in the wintertime, it goes down. That's just typical along the lines, all right? When you get to spring, people start using it more, they start their gardens and everything, they start filling their pools up, they start doing these other things, and they start watering the lawn, whatever. And then it gets more in the summertime, because people are using water more, so, you can only see that it's gonna project up higher.
Yeah, so I'll work with your commission and see what I can get from our treasurer and from what we have for billing, see if we can put something together to see if, just to come up actual usage. And then we'll have to, we can only go by what the actual usage and then, estimate. But I'd like to rather go over the actual usage, what's being billed compared to what we're actually bringing in is something important too, because there were, I think it was a year and a half ago where, people weren't getting a bill. There was forgiveness because the meter was broken.
Yep.
So those are things I think that, we would need to put together as a report.
All right, so the next select board meeting that I'm looking up here is the 24th, February 24th. And our meeting is the following day, the 25th. Okay, probably working that night. I have to see if I can get somebody off for me, so I'll see what I can do.
We're gonna go as a board?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What time do they meet?
Usually,
Six.
well, it depends if they have, because the agenda's not out yet. It says 6 o'clock. They usually have like executive session in between 5 or 5:30, or 5:30 to 6 or whatever. So 6 o'clock. All right, so I'll send a email out to see if we can get put on the agenda for the Board of Selectmen for February 25th. And then on our
I
meeting.
believe it's 24th.
24th.
Oh, sorry, 24th. Yeah, 24th. And then our meeting on the 25th, we'll have to discuss the water rate issue. Okay. All right. Do you guys want a motion for that, or?
Yeah, we'll make a motion. I'll make a motion.
She makes a motion, or a second. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What's the
Okay.
motion?
Motion to have us put on the agenda for February 24th at 6 PM to the Board of Selectmen.
Do we have the 5 o'clock on our meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it very much.
Karen, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have some, within 24 hours or 48 hours of our meeting. I just want to say this, is that the plant, after the big storm, Jim went down to get into the plant and it wasn't plowed. The parking area was plowed, but not anything else. I came into the office upstairs and said, hey, we need it plowed. I gave them days to do it. On Friday, Jim called me again and said, it's still not plowed. So, Saturday morning, woke up bright and early, drove all the way down there with my plow, and I plowed that friggin' road down there. All right, almost getting stuck going through the road up where all the ruts and everything are there, because those weren't fixed. We got to the plant, shoveled out the gate, got into the plant, made it around the corner. Have to understand, that's a lot of snow that I pushed
Yeah.
with my truck. That I shouldn't have had to push, but I care about the plant. Care about the taxpayers' $7 million investment. Okay? I get paid $300 to be the chairman. Guess what? I'm way past that because I mowed the lawn, I weed whacked around that plant. Okay? So when people turn around and want to criticize me, all right, I have one word for you, but I'm not going to say it. Okay? So I care about this plant. I want the plant back up and running, but I mean, the town needs to do their job, which clearly they don't want to, and I want to show you why. Is that Jim had told me that we're gonna need a propane delivery. We had like 32 and 40% left in it. I said, okay, fine. We automatically get notification of the propane delivery, so we'll be good. I got a call this week saying, hey, can I come deliver it? And I'm like, I don't know if the town plowed from the last storm that we just had. The big one, yeah, I did that. But the little one that we just had, I don't know if they did or not. So I'd say let's put it off till next week. So, let's see if I can go through this here. Where did this start? Just want to make sure I start from the right place here. All right, so this is the email thread. I'm going to read it out here so everyone understands that we're transparent. I'm damn well transparent. Hello, I sent this to Dave Seidentop, Glenn Cannon, and the Board of Selectmen. Stopped by the office after the first storm, told the secretary we needed the road plowed to gain access to the plant, knowing we had a delivery of fuel coming. As of Saturday after the first storm, with no way of checking the plant, a $7 million plant, the taxpayers are paying for only a portion of the road that was plowed was a parking lot. This is unacceptable. I went down and plowed it myself. Checked on the plant Saturday. Luckily, the power was still on. The generator was not active. And if the fuel, if it was, the fuel would be gone with that generator going that whole time. That plow job, I estimated $1,000. Actually more than that, but whatever. Okay. I was just contacted for delivery of fuel that I can't accept due to the condition of the road and the snow. All right, have to put it off till next week, which I just talked to you guys about. Okay, I got a response from Dave Seidentop, went to Glenn Cannon and the Board of Selectmen. My department does the procurement for propane. It is under a contract with O&M department. All propane sites are on a cellular auto dial. When the tanks reach a certain level, they come out and they fill them. The company contacted us on Monday asking if the site was accessible for delivery. I made it accessible, and they delivered propane that day, and the tanks are full. It is not a daily duty of the North Carver Water District. It is a public building utilizing fuel for heat and power if needed. The propane is paid for from our utilities line item, not the North Carver Water District budget. Bob, if you think you are the only person in this town that is doing things in the town's best interest, you are severely misguided. I will have the North Carver Water District access road plowed of snow moving forward. When the vendor needs delivery of propane, they will contact my department and it will be taken care of without any assistance from the North Carver Water District. You will be notified if access is necessary for any town personnel or vendor needing to enter the building. Dave Seidentop. All right, guys, so we have a budget line item for propane. We paid for propane.
But they're saying they pay for it.
But they're saying they paid for it. See, this is the problem with communication in this town. We got some issues of communication, people. Okay? Yeah. Severely misguided. I kind of love that statement here. My response to them, hello. And I said to the same people. First off, I have been in contact with the propane company and scheduled delivery for next week. You should not be involved in the North Carver Water District's daily duties. That is our responsibility. Second, the access road is the town's responsibility to clear. The only portion of clearing was the parking lot, and not that good. That cars will have difficulty to park. I did the main access road to protect the town's people's investment, their investment. I only asked to be notified if O&M wants to do work. They notify me first to ensure we have some overseeing of what's being done, which this did not happen numerous times, even having O&M cutting our lock. My number is on our website. It's available to all. There is no reason for the lack of communication. If the propane truck gets stuck, it's the town's fault. So I want it to be perfectly clear. The North Carver Water District pays for insurance. If the propane guy gets hurt on our property, who's going to pay for it? North Carver Water District's insurance policy. If a town employee gets hurt on our property, we're going to get sued. We have to be there. Okay, it's clear that the town and Operation and Maintenance and the Select Board, if they had an issue with it, they'd say, you know what, Bob, you're right. You know what, we need to support Bob because you know what, he's right. It's the North Carver Water District property.
When was the last correspondence date?
Today,
No, today.
I'm sorry, no, what was his? Yeah, February 11th at 3 PM. And we'll add this to the record too, so everyone understands that want to make sure it's transparent in this town, because we have a problem with transparency. Am I mad? Yeah, I'm mad. Okay, I already talked to that. That was Karen's stuff. So, just want to let you guys know, from what they said, we have propane now. How they got on our property, I don't know. How did they cut our locks again?
No, I don't know.
We changed our lock, but they don't have a copy of our lock. Did they use the fire lock for a fire emergency? To be totally honest, I mean, we should be calling the police to say that they gained access to our property without our knowledge, all right, and report it to GEP to let them know that we had unauthorized access onto a water plant by town personnel without our permission. Because it's our property, we're in charge of it, not the town of Carver, not operations and maintenance, okay? It's our property that we, as commissioners, are in charge of.
So, our operator wasn't out there? for the
No.
propane delivery?
No, I wasn't told till after the fact. Again, an issue with communication. I'm not happy. I mean, this is, how can the town turn around and go into your property, say, we're gonna go into your property without your approval, without notifying you that we're gonna do it, okay? Think about it. If you have property rights, we have property rights. Okay, if that happened to your house, would you want to know the town's walking on your property?
Well, if they're cutting locks, I'd be very concerned, because are they leaving that plant unsecured and unlocked at that point?
We don't, listen, we don't know.
Our operator usually meets the propane guy out there, correct?
Me and him do.
Yeah.
I was there for the last time he delivered. Okay, if not, I told the delivery guy, listen, come back next week in between 8 and 12. All right, I'll make sure that I'm there or Jim will be there. It'll all be open up for you and I'll make sure that you have access to it. All right, I wanted to make sure that I was not gonna plow after the storm we got like 5 inches of snow. Wasn't gonna do it. Okay, there's no reason for me to do it. That's not my responsibility, it's the town's. But I have a $7 million plant that I care about and I wanna protect it. I wanna protect our investment. So there's clearly a lack of communication in the town and something needs to be done. All right, whether it's, we talk to our lawyer and we do that, we call the police and file a police report with it. That's what I did the last time when they cut the locks, called the police, I want a report. They had no right to cut our locks. They had no right to get onto our property, and they were even notified that you want to get on there, notify me first.
Right. I don't know why it changed though. The propane contacts you all the time, correct?
When I found out about the propane, I gave them my contact information,
Right.
said, call me. Okay, the delivery driver has my number, he called me directly. Said, can I deliver it today? And I says, I can't guarantee the road's clear enough for you to go on. So I said, let's put it off till next week and
What changed that O&M got involved with the propane company? I don't know.
his email, look at his email. He says that, oh, they have a contract with him, but we pay the bill.
Right. But they've always called somebody from North Carver Water, I thought.
Listen, the bottom line here is that it's wrong. It's just wrong. And it just shows a pattern of abuse by the town of interfering with the North Carver Water District, and it's wrong.
As a water supply, nobody's supposed to be on the property
Unless one of us are here, that either Jim or me or you. Bottom line here is that we're responsible. Someone gets in there, we're in trouble. They get hurt. We're gonna end up paying the bill. Our insurance policy is gonna go higher. Someone has a heart attack. The guy down there was, before I turned around and said, listen, I find a guy going down there mowing the lawn. I'm like, what are you doing here? He's there by himself. What if he has a heart attack out there and dies? By himself. That's wrong, okay? I mean, we need to have some type of a means when people are out there of communication. The phone line doesn't even work down there
Then why are we paying so much money for?
because other things are attached to the phone line. Yeah, I know. I tried to get that reduced, but that didn't work. So needless to say. All right, that's my plowing and propane issue. Next one, we did get a new bill, and I did send that for Tata and Howard. Want to make sure you guys were aware of that. And the other thing is the audit. The audit of the North Carver Water District. I sent a message to the Finance Director, what's going on with that. We're in the queue to get it done. So the state will be getting it done when our number comes up, we'll get that done. So that's a good thing. And the last thing is, just to let you guys know that because we're under $300, under $600, the town will not be submitting us a 1099. Make sure you cover that into your taxes. When you do your taxes, put it in as some type of a service or whatnot for it, but make sure you claim it on your taxes.
I don't think you had to if it was under 600.
When I did my taxes, we put it in anyways, just to cover ourselves, because, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen, but the way the taxes are, Massachusetts doesn't even have their taxes in order yet.
No, so.
So our accountant can't even do the state taxes yet, because the state doesn't even know how they're gonna tax people, which is bizarre here. Okay, I think I covered everything that we had. I will contact Tremont Enterprise Corp. when I leave here. I'll send him, I'll call him up and talk to him about what we need and what we want from him. I'll send an email to the Board of Selectmen Chairman saying, hey, we want to be on the agenda for that. Try to get that day off, or at least a portion of it off, to get to it. Otherwise, anything else from anyone?
Nope. Okay.
All right. Thank you guys very, very much. I appreciate y'all being here for this impromptu meeting, but it was very important that we get this stuff done. Okay? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion.
I second.
Second, discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, we're all done here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you at the end of the month.
Yes.